The stars looked peaceful from Europa Base. Lieutenant Susan Wright stood at the large window, watching Jupiter's swirling clouds. After 5 years at this outpost, the view still amazed her. "Lieutenant, you need to see this." The voice came from Sergeant Paul Cooper, his face pale as he looked up from his screen. Susan walked over. "What is it?" "UESC Defender has made contact with an unknown ship just beyond Mars orbit." Susan leaned closer to the screen. Captain Jack Miller's face appeared, his expression serious but calm. "This is Captain Miller of the United Earth Space Command Vessel Defender. We greet you in peace and welcome you to our solar system." For 30 seconds, there was only silence. Then a reply came. The alien voice was deep and seemed to vibrate through the speakers. The words were in perfect English, but something about them felt wrong. "We are the Vraxian hegemony. Your species occupies space that is ours by right. You will surrender all colonies immediately." Captain Miller kept his composure. "We wish no conflict. Perhaps we can discuss." A bright flash filled the screen. Susan gasped. Where the Defender had been, there was now only debris. The alien ship had fired without warning. Alarms blared throughout Europa Base. Emergency channels exploded with chatter. They destroyed the Defender. UESC Valiant and Horizon moving to defend Mars colony. All stations, battle stations. Susan ran to the command center, where dozens of officers stared at the main screen in horror. The UESC Valiant fired its railguns at the alien vessel. The projectiles seemed to slow down before reaching the ship, then stopped completely. "What just happened?" someone asked. "Some kind of defense field," said Commander Bill West. "Nothing we've ever seen before." The alien ship fired again. The Valiant exploded. Minutes later, the Horizon met the same fate. A message broadcast across all Earth channels. The alien face appeared on every screen in the solar system. Its skin was gray-blue with ridges where eyebrows would be on a human. Its 4 eyes blinked at different times. "Humans, we are the Vraxian hegemony. Our empire spans 1,000 worlds. You are nothing to us. Surrender your colonies on Mars, Europa, and beyond. Return to your homeworld. You have 3 of your Earth days to comply. Any resistance will result in your extinction." The message ended. The command center fell silent. Admiral Peter Clark from Earth Command appeared on screen. "All UESC personnel, this is not a drill. We are at war. All civilian ships are to return to Earth immediately. Military vessels will provide cover. This is our darkest hour, but humanity will not surrender." For the next 2 days, Susan helped evacuate civilians from Europa Base. Most would return to Earth, but some essential personnel would remain. The base's small defense systems seemed laughable now against the power they had witnessed. On the 3rd day, as the deadline approached, Susan stood in the command center with the remaining staff. No one knew what would happen when the deadline passed. Would the aliens destroy their bases one by one? Would they attack Earth directly? "Energy spike detected," called out Officer Ben Kelly. Massive reading at the edge of the solar system. Everyone tensed. Was this the beginning of the end? The readings made no sense. The energy signature was unlike the Vraxian ships. Something else had arrived. "Visual confirmation coming through," said Ben. The screen showed a massive ship emerging from what looked like a tear in space itself. It was huge, at least 5 times larger than the Vraxian vessel. Its design was both alien and somehow familiar, with smooth lines that reminded Susan of ancient sailing ships from Earth. "Is it another alien race?" Commander West asked. The mysterious ship moved with impossible speed, positioning itself between Earth and the approaching Vraxian fleet. "It's not responding to any hails," said Communications Officer Linda Reyes. Susan stared at the screen. Whose side is it on? No one had an answer as the massive unknown vessel faced off against humanity's new enemy. Admiral Peter Clark stood on the bridge of the UESC Sentinel, Earth's largest remaining warship. His gray hair showed the stress of the past 3 days. He stared at the main screen, watching the massive unknown vessel. "Still no response to our hails, sir," said Communications Officer Frank Weber. The Admiral nodded. "And the Vraxians?" "They've stopped advancing but continue to broadcast threats. Their deadline passed an hour ago, yet they haven't attacked." "They're as confused as we are," Clark said, studying the mysterious ship. Its hull was smooth and dark, with lines that glowed blue along its surface. It was beautiful in a strange way. "Sir, I think we should try to make direct contact," said Dr. Alan Ross. The xenolinguist had been brought aboard specifically for this crisis. His specialty was understanding alien communication patterns. Commander Lisa Green stood beside him. At 34, she was one of UESC's most decorated officers. "I agree with Dr. Ross. Permission to leave a small team to approach the vessel." Admiral Clark frowned. "We don't know if it's friendly. If it wanted to destroy us, it could have done so already," Lisa pointed out. "It positioned itself between us and the Vraxians. That suggests it might be on our side." After a long pause, Clark nodded. "Take a stealth shuttle. Minimum crew. First sign of danger, you pull back immediately." 2 hours later, Lisa piloted the small shuttle toward the massive ship. Dr. Ross sat beside her, while 2 security officers, Sam Miller and Kate White, checked their equipment in the back. "If this thing is actually helping us, why doesn't it just talk to us?" Sam asked. "Maybe it can't," Dr. Ross said. "Or maybe it's waiting for something." As they approached, Lisa noticed details of the mysterious ship. It was at least 3 miles long, with what looked like weapon ports along its sides. Despite its size, it had an elegant design that reminded her of ancient Earth sailing ships. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "And powerful," added Kate. "Those look like weapon systems unlike anything I've ever seen." They were 500 yards away when Lisa's control panel lit up with an alert. "We're being scanned," she said. "Some kind of energy beam is." Before she could finish, a section of the massive ship opened, creating a hangar bay large enough for their shuttle. "It's inviting us in," Dr. Ross said, his voice filled with wonder. "Or it's a trap," Sam countered, gripping his rifle. Lisa looked at her team. "Admiral Clark gave us authority to make first contact. I say we accept the invitation." Dr. Ross nodded eagerly. Kate and Sam exchanged nervous glances, but didn't object. Lisa guided the shuttle into the opening. The bay was well lit with the same blue glow they had seen on the ship's exterior. As they landed, they saw that the hangar was empty of other vessels or life forms. "Atmosphere reads as breathable," Lisa said, checking the sensors. "Gravity slightly lighter than Earth normal." They put on light environmental suits as a precaution and stepped out of the shuttle. The floor beneath them hummed with energy. The walls were made of a material that looked like metal, but felt warm to the touch. "No signs of life," Kate said, scanning with her equipment. Suddenly, lights appeared along the floor, forming a path leading deeper into the ship. "It wants us to follow," Dr. Ross said. They walked cautiously along the path. The corridors were wide and tall, as if designed for beings larger than humans. After several minutes, they reached a large circular room. In its center stood what looked like a command center with chairs and control panels. "This looks like a bridge," Lisa said. "But where is the crew?" As if in response to her question, a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed a spinning Earth, then zoomed out to show the solar system, then further to show the galaxy. "I think it's trying to communicate," Dr. Ross said, stepping forward. The hologram changed to show a humanoid figure. It looked almost human, but with subtle differences in its proportions. "Hello," Dr. Ross said. "We come in peace." The hologram flickered, then spoke in perfect English. "Welcome aboard the Harbinger. I have waited a very long time for humanity's return." Lisa, Alan, Sam, and Kate stood frozen, staring at the hologram. It had the shape of a human, but with a slight glow around its edges. "What do you mean by humanity's return?" Dr. Ross asked, stepping forward. The hologram smiled. I am Guardian, the artificial intelligence of this vessel. The Harbinger was built by your ancestors 50,000 years ago. San raised his weapon slightly. That's impossible. Humans didn't have this technology 50,000 years ago. Your history is incomplete, Guardian replied. Humanity reached the stars long before your current civilization. They built great cities across many worlds. Lisa moved closer to one of the control panels. As she approached, it lit up with symbols that looked strangely familiar. If you don't believe me, Commander Green, touch the panel, Guardian said. Lisa hesitated, surprised that the AI knew her name. Slowly, she placed her hand on the glowing surface. Images flooded her mind, cities with tall spires reaching into alien skies, ships like the Harbinger traveling between stars, humans in advanced clothing walking alongside beings that were clearly not from Earth. She pulled her hand away, gasping. I saw everything. The control systems respond to human DNA, Guardian explained. They were designed to recognize their creators. If humans were so advanced, what happened to them? Kate asked, still keeping her hand near her weapon. Guardian's expression turned sad. War. The same enemy you face now, the Vraxians. Not the exact ones outside, but their ancestors. They were jealous of human achievement and sought to destroy it. The hologram waved its hand, and the room filled with projected images of battle. Massive ships firing at one another. Planets with burning cities. The war lasted for decades, Guardian continued. Humanity was winning until the Vraxians used a biological weapon that targeted human DNA. Billions died within weeks. Dr. Ross sat down heavily in one of the chairs. And the survivors? They fled to Earth, their ancient homeworld. The Harbinger was one of 5 ships built as a last defense. Each was sent to hide in different systems, programmed to awaken when humanity reached space again and faced the Vraxian threat. Lisa looked around the bridge. Where are the other ships? Unknown. We lost contact during the final battle. Why did our ancestors lose their technology after returning to Earth? Lisa asked. The survivors were few. They chose to hide their origins to protect future generations. Over time, that knowledge was lost. They believed if humanity evolved again naturally, it might avoid the mistakes of the past. Sam lowered his weapon finally. So this ship is ours. A human ship. Yes, built to serve humanity in its darkest hour, Guardian confirmed. And that hour has come again. The Vraxians have found you once more. Lisa touched another panel. More images flowed into her mind. Weapon systems, engines capable of speeds she couldn't comprehend, shields that could withstand forces that would destroy any human-built ship. This technology it's centuries beyond what we have now, she said. The Harbinger can turn the tide of this war, Guardian said. But it requires a human commander. The ship's full capabilities can only be accessed through a neural link with a compatible human. Neural link? Dr. Ross asked. What does that mean? A connection between mind and ship. It allows direct control of all systems. It is how the Harbinger was designed to be commanded. Is it dangerous? Lisa asked. There are risks, Guardian admitted. The human mind was not meant to process so much information at once. But in the past, strong minds adapted. Lisa looked at her team, then back at Guardian. The Vraxians destroyed 3 of our ships without effort. They're threatening to wipe out our colonies. We need the Harbinger. I will notify Admiral Clark of our findings, Kate said, activating her comm device. Guardian turned to Lisa. The Vraxians are preparing another attack. Their fleet approaches Mars colony now. We have little time. What do we need to do? Lisa asked. One of you must accept the neural link and take command, Guardian replied. The Harbinger awaits its captain. The hologram looked at each of them in turn, its gaze finally settling on Lisa. Who among you will lead humanity's defense? Silence filled the bridge as Guardian's question hung in the air. Lysa looked at her teammates. Sam and Kate exchanged nervous glances. Dr. Ross stared at the floor, deep in thought. "I'll do it," Lisa finally said. "I'll take the neural link." "Commander, we don't know enough about this," Kate protested. "It could be dangerous." "We don't have time for caution," Lisa replied. "Mars colony has over 20,000 people. If the Vraxians attack, they'll die." Admiral Clark's voice came through their comm devices. "Commander Green, are you certain about this?" Lisa took a deep breath. "Yes, sir. I believe it's our only chance." "Then you have my authorization," the Admiral said. "But be careful. We can't afford to lose you." Guardian gestured toward a chair in the center of the bridge. Unlike the others, this one had a headrest with small blue lights embedded in it. "Sit here, Commander," the AI said. "The process will begin when you're ready." Lisa lowered herself into the chair. It adjusted to fit her body perfectly. "Will it hurt?" she asked. "There will be discomfort," Guardian admitted. "Your mind must adapt to a new way of processing information." Sam stepped forward. "I should stay with you, Commander." "No," Lisa said firmly. "You all need to return to the Sentinel. Tell Admiral Clark to prepare our remaining ships. Whether this works or not, we'll need everyone ready to fight." Dr. Ross nodded reluctantly. "We'll be monitoring from the Sentinel." "Good luck, Commander." The team left the bridge, returning to their shuttle. Once they were gone, Lisa looked at Guardian. "I'm ready," she said. The chair reclined slowly. The blue lights on the headrest grew brighter. "Relax your mind," Guardian instructed. "Do not resist the connection." Lisa felt a warmth spreading from the back of her head. Then came the pain, sharp and intense. She gritted her teeth to keep from screaming. Suddenly, her mind exploded with information. She could see every part of the Harbinger at once. She felt the engines humming with power. She sensed the weapon systems, dormant but ready. Most overwhelming of all, she could see space around the ship in all directions simultaneously. "Too much," she gasped, her hands gripping the chair arms. "Focus on one system at a time." Guardian's voice came directly into her mind. "Start with navigation." Lisa concentrated on the ship's movement controls. The chaos in her mind began to settle. She could feel how the massive ship could respond to her thoughts. A slight mental push, and the Harbinger would move. "Good," Guardian said. "Now weapons." Lisa shifted her focus. The Harbinger's weapon systems were unlike anything humans had built. There were energy beams that could cut through any known material, gravity weapons that could tear ships apart, and shields that could withstand enormous force. "This is incredible," she whispered. "You are adapting quickly," Guardian noted. "Better than expected." Alarms suddenly blared. Lisa didn't need external warnings anymore. She could feel the threat through the ship's sensors. "Vraxian ships attacking Mars colony," she said, the information flowing directly into her mind. Through the neural link, she saw the Vraxian fleet, 5 large warships and dozens of smaller vessels. They were firing on the human defenses around Mars. The colony's shields were already failing. "We need to help them," Lisa said. "The neural link is not complete," Guardian warned. "You need more time to fully adapt." "There is no more time," Lisa replied. Her mind reached out to the ship's engines. The Harbinger responded immediately, moving from Earth orbit toward Mars with incredible speed. Admiral Clark's voice came through the communication system. "Commander Green, what's happening?" "I've connected with the ship, Admiral," Lisa replied. "We're heading to Mars to stop the attack. Our remaining ships will follow, but we can't match your speed. You'll be on your own until we arrive." Lisa felt fear, but also determination. Through the neural link, she accessed the Harbinger's combat training programs. Thousands of years of battle knowledge flowed into her mind. "The Harbinger was built for this," she said. "And so was I." As they approached Mars, Lisa prepared the weapon systems. The massive ship responded to her thoughts instantly, like an extension of her own body. "Vraxian ships detected," Guardian announced. They have not yet noticed our approach. Lisa smiled grimly. They're about to. On Mars, Colonel Eric Martinez watched in horror as his defense grid failed. 3 Vraxian warships hung in orbit, firing energy beams that cut through the colony's shields like they were paper. "Evacuate to the emergency shelters," he ordered. "We can't hold them off much longer." His second-in-command, Major Diane Powell, pointed at her screen. "Sir, there's something coming. Fast." Martinez looked at the radar. An object was approaching at impossible speed. Another Vraxian ship. "No," Powell said. "It's much bigger." The Harbinger dropped out of its high-speed travel just outside Mars orbit. Through the neural link, Lisa assessed the situation instantly. One of the habitat domes was already breached, emergency teams rushing to seal it. 2 more hits and the colony would lose life support. "Guardian, target the lead Vraxian ship," Lisa commanded with her thoughts. "Targeting," Guardian confirmed. "Weapons ready." The Vraxians noticed the Harbinger's arrival. 2 smaller ships broke off their attack on the colony and turned toward the human vessel. Lisa felt no fear. She could sense the Vraxian weapons charging, primitive compared to the Harbinger's technology. As they fired, she activated the shields with a thought. The energy blasts hit the Harbinger and dissipated harmlessly. Lisa smiled. Now it was her turn. "Main weapon system online," Guardian announced. Lisa selected the gravitational disruptor from the Harbinger's arsenal. The weapon needed no ammunition. It simply twisted space itself around the target. "Fire," she thought. A beam of distorted space shot from the Harbinger toward the lead Vraxian ship. When it hit, the alien vessel didn't explode. It imploded, crushed by forces it couldn't resist. On the Mars Defense Station, Martinez and his team watched in amazement. "Did you see that?" Powell gasped. The Vraxian ship just collapsed. The remaining Vraxian ships scattered, clearly surprised by the destruction of their lead vessel. 2 regrouped and launched a coordinated attack on the Harbinger. Lisa felt their weapons impact through the neural link. The shields held easily, but she sensed their strategy. They were testing her defenses, looking for weaknesses. "They're adapting," Guardian warned. The Vraxians were always quick learners. Through the neural link, Lisa accessed more of the Harbinger's weapon systems. She fired a series of smaller gravitational pulses, not to destroy but to disable. 1 Vraxian ship lost power, drifting helplessly. Another spun out of control, its engines damaged. The largest remaining Vraxian vessel changed tactics. It turned away from the Harbinger and fired all weapons at the Mars colony's main dome. "No," Lisa shouted, both aloud and in her mind. The Harbinger responded instantly, interposing itself between the attack and the colony. The shields absorbed most of the impact, but some energy got through. Lisa felt pain through the neural link as systems overloaded. "Shield capacity at 60%, Guardian reported. "They found a frequency that partially penetrates our defenses." Lisa targeted the attacking ship and fired the gravitational disruptor again. The Vraxian vessel shuddered but didn't collapse completely. They had adapted some kind of countermeasure. "Adjusting weapon frequency," Lisa thought. She fired again. This time, the Vraxian ship broke apart, split into 3 pieces by the gravitational forces. The remaining Vraxian vessels began to retreat, jumping away faster than any human ship could follow. "They're running," Martinez said over the comm. "You did it." But Lisa felt no triumph. Through the colony's emergency channels, she heard the reports. 1 dome breach, over 200 people dead before it could be sealed. "We didn't save everyone," she said quietly. "But you saved most of us," Martinez replied. "Without you, we'd all be dead." As the neural link settled, Lisa became aware of something strange. Memories that weren't hers flickered through her mind. Battles fought long ago, stars she'd never seen, faces of people who had lived and died thousands of years in the past. "Guardian," she thought, "what's happening to me?" "The neural link is changing you," Guardian replied, "as it did to commanders before you. Their memories, Their experiences, they become part of you. Lisa looked out at Mars, at the damaged but surviving colony, then at the debris of the Vraxian ships. "We won this battle," she said, "but the war has just begun." 2 weeks after the battle at Mars, Lisa stood on the Harbinger's Bridge with Admiral Clark and Dr. Ross. Through the neural link, she felt the ship's systems humming around her. "The Vraxians have set up a staging area in the Kuiper Belt," Lisa said, projecting a hologram of the outer solar system. "They're gathering their forces for another attack." Admiral Clark studied the projection. "How many ships?" "At least 20. Much larger than what we faced at Mars." "Even with the Harbinger, those are bad odds," the Admiral said. Lisa nodded. "That's why I asked you here. Guardian and I have been searching through the ship's database. We found something important." She thought of the information, and the hologram changed to show 5 humans standing in a circle, their hands touched to devices similar to the Harbinger's control panels. "The Harbinger wasn't designed for just one neural link," she explained. "It can support up to 5. Each person controls different systems. Together, they form a battle network." Dr. Ross stepped closer to the hologram. "Like a hive mind." "More like a team with perfect communication," Lisa said. "But it means I need 4 more people to link with the ship." "Are they at risk of the same side effects you're experiencing?" Clark asked, concerned. Lisa had told them about the ancient memories she now shared. Dreams of worlds she'd never seen. Knowledge of technology beyond human understanding. "Yes," she admitted, "but we need this advantage." Clark sighed. "I'll have my staff identify candidates. People with strong minds who can handle the stress." 3 days later, Lisa met the 4 people selected for neural linking. Lieutenant Ryan Dean, a pilot with quick reflexes. Ensign Maria Diaz, a weapons specialist. Lieutenant Kevin Howard, a tactical officer. And Captain Olivia Barnes, second in command of Europa Base. "You've all volunteered knowing the risks," Lisa said. "The neural link will change you. You'll gain memories that aren't yours. You'll think differently. But together, we can save humanity." One by one, they connected to the Harbinger. Each link was different. Ryan connected to the navigation systems, feeling the ship's movement as if it were his own body. Maria linked with weapons, understanding instantly how to target and fire. Kevin joined with sensors, able to process vast amounts of data about surrounding space. Olivia connected to communications and coordination. As they trained together, their minds touched through the ship. They didn't speak aloud. They didn't need to. Thoughts flowed between them, faster than words. Meanwhile, Dr. Ross made another discovery in the ship's database. "Look at this," he told Lisa, showing her ancient texts and images. "Your ancestors fought the Vraxians for decades. They developed weapons we can barely comprehend." "What kind of weapons?" Lisa asked. "Devices that could rewrite genetic code across vast distances. They could have wiped out the entire Vraxian species in one strike." "Why didn't they use them?" "They were about to," Ross said grimly. "But some believed using such weapons would make humans no better than their enemies." The debate was still ongoing when the Vraxians released their bioweapon. Lisa felt cold. Through the neural link, she accessed the sealed weapons protocols Ross had found. The knowledge was terrible and wonderful at once. "This information stays between us for now," she ordered. The day of the counterattack came quickly. The UEAC fleet, 14 ships in total, gathered near Neptune's orbit. At their center was the Harbinger. Admiral Clark's voice came through the comm system. "All ships, prepare for battle. Today we take the fight to the enemy." On the Harbinger's bridge, Lisa sat in the command chair. Ryan, Maria, Kevin, and Olivia sat at their stations, eyes closed as they focused on the neural link. "Are you ready?" Lisa asked through the link. Their responses came as feelings rather than words. Determination, courage, resolve. Lisa reached out with her mind, guiding the Harbinger forward. The human fleet followed. Ahead lay the Vraxian staging area, 27 warships preparing to attack Earth. For humanity, Lisa thought. For humanity, her crew responded as one. The battle for the solar system was about to begin. Space lit up with energy beams and explosions as the human fleet engaged the Vraxian ships. The Harbinger led the charge, its advanced shields absorbing attacks that would have destroyed any other vessel. Through the neural link, Lisa and her team worked as one mind. Ryan guided the ship through the chaos of battle. Maria fired weapons with perfect timing. Kevin tracked enemy movements and predicted their strategies. Olivia coordinated with the rest of the human fleet. 3 Vraxian ships fell to the Harbinger's gravitational weapons. The human fleet took down 4 more, but the Vraxians were adapting quickly, adjusting their shields to resist the human attacks. They're learning our patterns, Kevin mourned through the neural link. A massive Vraxian vessel, twice the size of the others, moved to the center of their formation. It began to glow with energy. That's their command ship, Lisa realized. They're charging some kind of super weapon. The Harbinger rocked as multiple Vraxian beams hit it simultaneously. For the first time, the ancient ship's shields began to fail. Shield capacity at 30%, Guardian reported. We cannot sustain this level of attack. Through the neural link, Lisa felt the pain of the other human ships as they were hit. 2 exploded, their crews lost in an instant. 3 more were crippled, drifting helplessly. We're losing, Ryan thought, his mental voice strained. Lisa knew he was right. Despite the Harbinger's power, the Vraxians outnumbered them. More enemy ships were arriving from deeper space. Soon, the path to Earth would be open. Then Lisa remembered the sealed weapons protocols Dr. Ross had discovered. The genetic weapon that could end the war in an instant. Guardian, she thought, activate Protocol Omega. A new section of the bridge opened, revealing a glowing sphere mounted on a pedestal. Warning, Guardian announced. Protocol Omega targets Vraxian DNA across all space. Activation will result in the extinction of their entire species. Lisa hesitated. Through the neural link, she felt her crew's shock. We can't, Olivia thought. That's genocide. They would do the same to us, Maria argued. They already tried once, 50,000 years ago. In Lisa's mind, the memories of ancient commanders stirred. She saw through their eyes. Worlds burning, billions dying as the Vraxian bioweapon spread. The fury and despair of a civilization facing extinction. This is what they built the weapon for, Lisa thought. To ensure humanity's survival. She moved toward the sphere. One touch would activate it. One touch would save Earth but condemn an entire species to death. As her hand reached out, a new memory surfaced, not of battle, but of peace. Ancient humans and Vraxians, before the war, trading and sharing knowledge. Children of both species playing together. Lisa stopped. There was peace once, she whispered. What? Kevin asked aloud, breaking the neural link momentarily. The Vraxians. They weren't always our enemies. Lisa turned away from the weapon. Guardian, access the Harbinger's communication array. What are you doing? Ryan asked. Something our ancestors never tried. Lisa connected her mind directly to the communication system. Through it, she broadcast not words but images. Earth's cities, families, art, music. She showed human history, wars and peace, cruelty and kindness. She showed humanity's struggles and triumphs. Most importantly, she sent the ancient memories, humans and Vraxians, living in harmony before hatred destroyed it all. The Vraxian attack paused. Their command ship's weapon powered down. They're receiving our transmission, Olivia said in wonder. A response came, not in words, but in similar images. Vraxian cities, families, art, their history, their struggles, their perspective of the ancient war, driven by fear of human expansion, believing humans would eventually destroy them. They thought we were the threat, Lisa realized. Their attacks were based on fear, not hatred. The largest Vraxian ship moved closer to the Harbinger, weapon systems inactive. A single message came through in English. We remember too. Perhaps it is time to talk. Admiral Clark's voice broke through the comm system. Commander Green, what's happening? Lisa smiled, tears in her eyes. The real test wasn't whether we could defeat our enemy, Admiral. It was whether we would choose a better path when given the chance. As human and Fraxian ships faced each other in the darkness of space, the cycle of violence that had lasted 50,000 years finally had a chance to end. This, Guardian said softly, is humanity's true glory.